As you're already aware, or if you're not aware, this month we're exploring a theme that resonates with everyone and every household, which is risk management and financial protection. In a world where uncertainties have become part of our daily lives, from health emergencies to business losses and unexpected financial setbacks, many people are beginning to ask, how can I protect myself and my family in a way that aligns with my ethical belief? Hello and welcome to Islamic Finance Weekly. I am Rahma Say Muhammad. Today we're seated with the very managing director of Noor Takaful Insurance Limited, Rilwan Sunmonu. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for having us with you today to discuss on this, very touchy topic.
Thank you, Rama, for having me.
Thank you so much, sir. So let's delve right into the conversation of today, right? I mean, for many people, risk management sounds like a corporate term. So how can Takaful or insurance industry or the Islamic finance industry translate this concept into something that genuinely protects individuals and families in their everyday lives?
I think when you talk about risk management, I think communication is key. Yeah. Making an ordinary Nigerian understand what risk management is all about. Based on the question you just asked, people attach much importance to risk management in the area of being a corporate term. It's not really for corporate organizations alone, even individuals, families. They experience what we call risk. Risk is part of our life, of our lives. So it's very important for people to set certain plans, things in place to mitigate against everyday life risk. As Takaful operators and as insurance experts, it's our responsibility is to give people that rest of mind that when all these risks crystallize, we're always there to give them succor. Like I said, communication is key. Making individuals understand what risk they face on a daily basis, what risk attached to their activities, what risk is attached to their businesses. So at every point in time, communication is key. I'll cite an instance. As we are seated here, there's risk everywhere. There's a risk of fall. There's a risk that the camera that I'm facing could explode. Why? Because of maybe power surge. Different types of risk. There's a risk of fall within the office space. That someone moving around could slip, strain his legs, or harm. So there's risk everywhere. Even at homes, there's a risk that you leave the bathroom. There's every possibility you slip, you hit your head. Chances is that there's every tendency of any untoward event happening at every point in time. And that is what risk is all about. So it is the responsibility of Takaful operators and insurance experts to bring out all this risk to the attention of individuals, for them to appreciate the fact that for every step you take, for everything you do, there's always a risk attached to it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that enlightenment. So let's talk about a large number of people, a large number of Nigerians, who believe that takaful insurance is not important. They feel it's not necessary. So how can the industry better communicate the value of financial protection before a crisis happens?
You see, one of the major challenges that insurance has, it's inherent in the practice itself. Insurance is an intangible thing, something people do not see. So for people to appreciate insurance, it's important you make it look tangible. How can you make it tangible? There are different ways of making it tangible. The level of your communication to people, like I said earlier, is very key. Sensitization and education is very, very key. I'll cite an instance. People do not appreciate insurance because they do not really understand what insurance can do to them or for them. Now, I'll cite an instance again. When you want people to understand insurance, and you are looking at it from the perspective of our home climate, like Nigeria, there are different tribes. The level of literacy is very low. A typical insurance company will always print their policy documents in English. Who says we cannot print our policy documents in traditional languages, Hausa, Igbo, so that you can easily communicate with the community you are dealing with. As an organization, Takaful, this is one of the aspects that we're actually looking at. I remember we had a roadshow in Kano 2 years ago. These are some of the feedback that we got from that event. That look, it is important that we communicate with people in the language that they understand. So when you communicate to them in a language that they understand, we need to reduce the level of technical terms that we have in our policy documents. That's number one. It's also important that we reduce the volume of those pages that we have. A one-page document is enough to capture the terms, conditions of a policy document so that people would understand at a glance what cover they are taking up, what exclusions and exceptions are on that cover. So it's very, very key. And these are some of the things we need to look at as an operator and as an industry.
Absolutely. I mean, I totally agree with that. I mean, even certain insurance, people even in the insurance industry still find some of these terms really technical. Now, not to talk about the outsiders. So thank you so much, sir, for that. So let's talk about what Noor Takaful is doing to make risk management solutions more accessible to the underserved communities. I mean, you just mentioned the roadshow Noor Takaful did and the feedbacks given. So having had these feedbacks, what has Noor Takaful done to, help in this?
Thank you very much, Rama. You see, one of the things that we have tried to do as an organization, if you look at our business model is premised on the financial inclusion drive. And going by our records in recent times, we have observed that we've been able to bring on board 30% of Nigerians that would not have ordinarily taken up insurance, any insurance cover. I mean, this is an achievement that we always feel proud of. Now, what we have tried to do as an organization is we've gone beyond, like we always say about ourselves, we have gone beyond selling insurance. What we sell are solutions. What we have tried to do is, it's important we listen to our clients. We listen to our customers, understand their needs. So what we do is we go back to the drawing board, create solutions that will satisfy those needs. Gone are the days when you say we sell motor insurance. You need to understand whatever it is you are selling, your traditional motor insurance policy, is it going to solve the problem of that individual? If it's not, then it's important you understand what the needs of that particular individual is, and you work around the solution for him or her. That's number one. That's what we have tried to do. Number two, we have also tried, like I said earlier, to break insurance down in languages and terms that people would understand and they can easily resonate with, which is very, very key. In doing that, we've been able to achieve a whole lot. Number one, when it comes to the issue of claims settlement, there's less ambiguity, there's less controversies, because ab initio, you understand the terms of the contract you are going into. That's number two. Number three, what we have also tried to do, you see, and I'm sorry to say this, an average Nigerian is a bad reader. We know this. We are not good at reading documents, especially when it becomes voluminous. What we have tried to do as an organization, like I said, summarize the terms and conditions of a policy so that it's easily readable. That's number one. Number two, we have also trained our agents to be patient enough to explain policy documents, important terms and conditions of policies to individuals. So to a large extent from day one, they understand what they are buying. And also what we have also tried to do is the roadshow that I spoke to you about, that I mentioned earlier, we intend to continue to do that. See, we keep saying the penetration of insurance in Nigeria is less than 2%. It's because we are not thinking outside the box. There's a huge market out there, especially within the informal industry. You look at markets in Lagos, huge potentials. You look at markets in Kano, huge potentials. But you know, majority of us in the insurance industry, we are so preoccupied with the corporate organizations where we believe these are where the big figures will come from. But we can build numbers through all these individuals. So what we have tried to do is, number one, education is key. Like I said, most Nigerians are financially illiterate. So financial education is key. So it's important that we have sensitization programs, awareness programs with all these markets. And that is what we have started doing. And that is one of the things that will be our major focus going forward next year. You need to interact with them, understand what they need. I'm telling you, an average market in Nigeria has nothing less than 500. An average market has nothing less than 500 traders in it. So I don't want to talk about the whole markets in Lagos. So you can see it's a huge market that we have. But the potentials are there. It's just for us to tap into it. And these are some of the various ways as an organization that we are looking at tapping into these opportunities.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, sir. I mean, having established how to tap the underserved communities in Nigeria, so let's talk about the rising cost of living and growing financial uncertainty. What role do you see Takaful in general playing in mitigating or helping families and individuals build resilience for financial uncertainties?
Okay, let me start by talking about the Takaful model itself. You know, Takaful is more of mutual guarantee. People coming together to assist one another. When we have situations like this, where the economy is bad, there's every tendency that people would need to rally around each other and assist. And that's one thing about the model itself, Takaful. People coming together to assist one another. I'll say to you, it is only Takaful that you pay your premium or contribution. And if at the end of the year, nothing happens, then something comes back to you. It shows you the compassion that is in Takaful itself. So that's a way. Right. That's one way that we've been able to assist the community. I think last month or thereabout, we shared surplus. So far, we've been able to share about 1 billion surplus to our participants. That's a way in assisting them during this economic period. That's point number one. Point number two is we have tried to the best of our ability to ensure that we stagger the way people pay premium contributions. I'll start an instance. We've had issues at the verge of closing a business. Individuals will tell you, look, this amount is too huge for me to pay at once. We have tried to encourage people to pay on quarterly basis. These are ways of assisting people. And also we have gone also in ensuring that, like I said, educating people to understand the importance of insurance or Takaful. And what we have tried to do is to make them see reason why Takaful is even more important during this economic period than before. Now, you buy a phone of 1 million naira, for example, or 100,000 naira item. Today, there's every tendency if you are buying the same item in 6 months, you won't get it at 100,000.
Definitely.
But if you have a Takaful in place, yes, in 6 months, there's every possibility that the 100,000 naira may not be enough to buy the same item, but at least you have something. All you need to is just to augment that amount with a little amount for you to be able to get that. So to a large extent, that is what having a Takaful plan or an insurance policy would do to you.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for that response. So, how will the ongoing insurance industry recapitalization shape the Takaful segment? I remember I saw you speak about the penetration and the Takaful industry in the coming years at the brokers event. So, how would the Takaful segment, help in promoting Nigeria's GDP, and what is the outlook for the industry in the coming years?
Yeah, Takaful is an evolving sector, the Nigerian insurance industry. Like I've always said, in 2024, the industry did a gross written premium of about 1 trillion naira. Takaful's contribution to that is about 2%. But if you look at the growth of Takaful, the model has grown consistently in the last 7-8 years at a rate of an average rate of about 40-45%, which is reasonable. Yes, there's more to be done because there are still more opportunities. Now, if you are looking at the issue of recapitalization, for now, the recapitalization does not affect Takaful based on the NERA Act, because what NERA Act has done is to give that responsibility, to pass that responsibility to the regulator to determine what the capital requirements of an average Takaful company would be. Our recapitalization will be determined by NICOM, but as proactive operators, even within the Takaful space, we know quite well we do not need to wait for the regulator to prompt us to increase our capital. We have been doing that gradually as individual Takaful operators and even as a group. You know, in recent times, what I would say NERA and even the recent circular has done to the Takaful industry is to encourage us to collaborate more. We are beginning to speak with one voice. And we are also beginning to see the need for us to approach the market as a unit and not as silos. To a large extent, the recapitalization is a wake-up call for Takaful Industries, that if we need to play big, then it's important that we increase our capital base. And that's what we're actually working on as individual operators and as Takaful operators as a group.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that conversation. And yeah, so it's a wrap. And I would say that was a very enlightening and engaging conversation. Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
that,
much.
Mr. Rilwan.
Thank you,
Thank you
Rama.
for having us.
Thank you.
Having had that wonderful conversation with Mr. Rilwan Sunmonu, the managing director of Noor Takaful Insurance Limited, I mean, where he highlighted certain nuggets. I mean, I picked up some nuggets today from this conversation. We talked about general sensitization, having to, teach the underserved communities certain languages, break it down in their words using traditional languages to communicate with people, but not the broad or the complex insurance terms. We spoke about the growth of the Takaful from 40 to 45%. I mean, that's a great, growth level. Well, with that, I say, don't forget to keep faith with us next week on the program. Follow us on all of our social media platforms displayed on the screen. Thank you for watching. And as always, I am Rahma Say Mohammed.